While entrenched in deep snow and burdened with heavy work of research which would go down in history, nothing to draw away a man's attention other than the two hollow eyes, gazing from afar upon a tree, golden gazes at night that pierced the mind of anyone. The following morning would reveal nothing but immense tracks that indicated a predator of the night, with two elongated claws that deepened the soil, not something you've ever seen before. Terry Sherman, the new owner of the mysterious ranch, who had just moved in recently with his family of 4, awoke early that morning and almost instinctively went out to investigate the environment. He had hoped for a good getaway when he bought the ranch and thought his family could get some much-needed peace and experience of the wild. But what he hadn't expected was a completely and utterly frightening experience with the wild, ones no man could ever explain. It was becoming a consistent occurrence, an attack upon his property with no suspect. That morning, he arose a lot earlier than his family, got ready, and headed out for a survey of the land. He went around his home to ensure that everything was okay. As he moved, he found unusual tracks, familiar with his previous sightings, but still highly unusual. The creature had struck again, he told himself, had surveyed the enormously wide claw prints, so wide he could fit his foot inside the print and still have enough for another. Whatever the creature was, he had done the first round of surveying the house the night before. He then visited his stable where he raised his cattle, and for some reason, he could tell the livestock had been tensed up, almost as if frightened about the night before. He froze. His temperature dropped instantly. He had been right about his previous conclusion. The beast that ravaged at night had been to the stable again and experimented on his cattle, or so it seemed. The two livestock lay on the ground lifeless and oddly shaped. It was apparent that whatever visited them had little intention of feasting but was more rather curious. The corpses had been surgically and almost professionally but oddly cut open and explored in various manners. And more strangely, there seemed to be no bloodstains of a messy kill or any left in the bloodstreams of the animals. This spooked Terry to his toes, as he would imagine himself being the next target of the creature's curiosity. He rushed back to his house instantly to wake the others, and that was not even the first encounter, and not the last. Gwen, wife of Terry, would also come across strange findings, such as the crop circles grown almost by a species capable of advanced communication, as if to relay a message or something similar. After the family found themselves at more losses than gains and constantly fearing when their visitor would become more emboldened to take on its experiments with humans, they decided they needed to go, and soon. Fortunately, after an interview in 1996 with a local reporter on their disturbing yet intriguing experience on the ranch 3 months earlier, Robert Bigelow, a Las Vegas real estate magnate and UFO enthusiast, acquired the Uinta Basin of eastern Utah ranch for $200,000. Robert wasted no time in his hunt for these creatures and answers to these unexplained occurrences on the ranch. He set surveillance systems around the ranch under the research, the National Institute for Discovery Science. His research on the land would lead to the publication of his book, Hunt for the Skinwalker, which explored the various findings and strange occurrences witnessed by various researchers. He couldn't find any physical evidence for who or what these creatures had been. The name, Skinwalker Ranch, was an official identity for the most hunted ranch after the Adamantium Estate bought the ranch and applied to trademark the name Skinwalker Ranch. From here on, the ranch had been a buzz for the people who were either talking and arguing the realism of Sherman's experiences, be it true or lies, or making up their own rumors about what lives and goes on the ranch. Many enthusiasts had visited the ranch as well in their own search for the truth, and eventually, apart from Skinwalker, the ranch was nicknamed UFO Alley. In Robert's book, he highlighted that even more ancient people who had visited the lands like the first Europeans, had documented their strange sights on the lands. In 1776, Franciscan missionary Silvestre Velez de Escalante had written about his odd experience at the ranch, where he detailed strange fireballs floating over his campfire in El Rey. More allegations and claims have also resurfaced about the ranch, such as biochemist Colm Kelleher, who on the 12th of March 1997, while researching the ranch at night, spotted a large humanoid creature watching his team at their tent from afar, around 50 yards away on a tree, with golden, bright, glowing eyes. This was a popular story amongst the public, as it fit the narrative of Skinwalker from a tribe that was known to neighborlands of the ranch about 400 kilometers away. In Navajo folklore, tales of witches of the hunt who were aggressive and deadly and were known to have the power to shapeshift, depicting whatever creatures they desire. Other sightings recorded about the ranch, which appear to differ from the usual beastly-shaped creatures of the night, have occurred at Bottle Hollow, a man-made 420-acre of land reservoir on Ute land, abutting the ranch, which now lay a lot barren compared to the 1970, where it was filled with water by the federal government mandate. Here, a police officer serving in 1998 had explained his experience with a UFO shaped like a ball and glowing bright, which had disappeared out of nowhere in the water, later to re-emerge and descend high into the night sky, never to be seen again. Another similar story comes from the woods of 3 Indian men who had been at the location at night and watched a rather rad glowing ball dive into the water, emerge, and disappear into the nearby woods leading to the ranch. These stories, even more than the ideas of shape-shifting witches, have resonated with locals of Ute, who have believed the streams to contain a flux of negative energy, that is, evil spirits or sprites, believed to stalk the water bodies until someone comes around and drag them to the depths. Whether myths or tales of true experience, the Skinwalker Ranch is known today as one of the most haunted places on Earth.